The tournament directors are giving the announcements for the first round. I have no freaking clue what he's saying. I'm so confused. I'm in Europe for the first time. I'm playing in the Czech Republic in Ceske Budejovice in the open section. Well, it's the under 2000 section, so they call it Open B. And this is the first round. It's June 28th. I just finished. I took off my polo and my slacks and put on some more casual clothes because I was told that Europeans dress up more. You're supposed to like dress like church best, Sunday church or business casual. But actually, when I was actually there, most people were wearing casual clothes, so that was a lie. But it's really, really cool. This is my first time in Europe, and yeah, I'm in my Airbnb right now. I'm the first one out of my group of friends that finished, so I'm just gonna go over the game. This is a no engine recap, and the rating that you see by my name up there is the 1785. That is my FIDE rating. So if you watch any of the previous videos I've made, you see that I'm 1900-ish USCF, but my FIDE rating is 1785, and I'm hoping I can be a stereotypical underrated American because a lot of Americans don't get an opportunity to play a lot of FIDE rated tournaments. So Americans have a reputation of often being underrated. And I'm hoping that's the case. I'm hoping I can win the whole thing. And when I go back to work after 2 weeks, I can bring back the trophy. That's kind of the goal. The time control is super long. It's like 90 plus 30 with a second time control. So pretty. I think it's like 15 minutes after move 40. I forget. I'll have to double check that later. But I'm playing a local Czech player, Ole Yordachenko. I actually asked him after the game, like, how far away does he live from here? He says that he lives about 10 to 15 minutes away, which is freaking awesome. Like, bro just woke up and walked to the tournament, and yeah, it's really cool. Ceske Budejovice is a really great city. The Airbnb we have is right off the town square, so highly recommend. Okay, so he plays e4, and I play the good old trusty Karakhan. Don't want to change anything up at this point. I could play the Sicilian, but point is, I'm going to go to my good old trusty repertoire, and he plays the advanced variation. I play c5, the move I've been mostly playing in the last year or so, and he plays c3. To me, this is the easiest advanced variation setup to play against, if that makes sense. So, because I honestly think when people take on c5, or if they play knight f3, and then take back with the pawn, with the knight, I think these are harder for me to play, just personal preference. I guess it's harder for me to play. People play c3, which is by no means a bad move. You're reinforcing your center, but I just have easy development with knight c6. And I'm going to wait until he commits more pieces, like a knight to f3, before I move my bishop out. That's kind of my idea. So he plays knight f3, which, once again, is like the easiest setup to play against, because I just take on d4 and then play bishop g4. I could take on g4 immediately, but sometimes positions get a little bit tricky with d takes c5 and like e6 and b4. This might still be okay, but it is definitely a bit tricky. So that's why I like to just take on d4 first and then play bishop g4. The downside of this, of trading on d4, is that the knight can develop to c3 very easily. But the pro of it for me is that I have the pawn structure is set in stone, basically. Like it's and I can develop plans around that. So he goes bishop e2, just pretty normal move. Bishop d3 would blunder the pawn on d4 because the knight is pinned. Although in this case, oh wait, he could take. Actually, I messed up. That's not a blunder because after takes, you have check here, and black has to give up their queen, and black is just going to be down a piece. Okay, so I forgot about that, but if he did play bishop d3, I'm hoping I would have actually thought about it, and I probably would not have blundered taking on d4. So he just moves his bishop out though, and I play e6, and I'm still like three moves away from castling. Well, actually no, more like 1, 2, 3 moves, 4 moves. I guess 4 moves away from castling, but the center is very close, so it's hard for white to take advantage of the fact that I'm far away from castling. But now he plays one of the it's just an unusual move. He plays queen a4. This move is unprincipled. He told me after the game that like queen a4, he saw that it wasn't really a bad move, and he just decided to play it, which makes sense. Like it's not a particularly bad move. It's not like a blunder or anything, but White should really prioritize getting their other pieces out, castling. Um, but like this queen move doesn't really do much, and it's very unusual. So my spidey senses were already tingling. I'm like, what is this move? Like what? I've never seen a move like this on move 8 before, and like I thought to myself, like, what is he gonna do if I play queen b6? This d4 pawn is very, very weak because he hasn't spent any time developing his other pieces or castling. He can't put a rook on d1 to defend it. Like, how is he gonna defend this d4 pawn? His queen's guarding it and his knight's guarding it, but I'm threatening, like, if he castles, I'm threatening to take the knight on f3 and then just simply take the pawn on d4. And once again, I am behind in development, but he can't exploit that at all. So that's not relevant here. So I really was like very confused. One thing I also thought he could do was like, okay, well, what if he plays like knight c3, a tricky move like that? Well, maybe after bishop takes, pawn takes, and like queen takes, I thought maybe he'll try like a move like knight b5, but in this case his queen's hanging, so he can't do that. And this pawn is hanging with check too. So I determined that queen b6 was a good move, and that taking the pawn on d4 is a really serious threat. Now I do not know how he's going to parry. He ended up deciding to go bishop e3, which I was like, whoa! Like bishop e3 is I'm just gonna take the pawn on b2, and that's what I did. But it's something that I actually really had to think about here, and I had to make sure: is this okay for me? One of the things I was thinking about was that, let's say here he castles, and I take the rook, queen b3, and how is my queen getting out? Like, legitimately, how is my queen getting out? If we go like knight a5, like, hello, your king's weak. And it's like, wow, like, I'm going to lose my queen. So I'm like sitting there thinking, I'm like, wow, wait, is this actually that good for me? Like, for example, in this position, my queen's trapped. So what if I just take the other rook? So I have two rooks for the queen, and I'm up a pawn. But I'm like, I don't know. Like he has the pressure here. I'm so behind in development. But looking at it now, maybe this is okay. But like, I just hate, like, if I already had a knight on f5 and a bishop on e7 and already castled, this looks good. But the fact that I'm not any of those things, like, I'm just scared. And evaluating that position was very hard so far in the future. But that's one thing I had to keep in mind. But I determined, okay, if he does castle, I'm just going to take the bishop on e2. Easy peasy. So I'm not worried about that. So because I didn't have to worry about castling, I was pretty comfortable with it, with proceeding. But now after queen b2, he plays bishop b5. And so this is where I go in the longest think of the game, I think for at least 13, maybe closer to 10 minutes, actually. And I kind of had a tough choice. Firstly, I thought, well, what if I just take the rook? I had a rook, and you quickly realize, okay, after bishop takes c6, what am I doing? I honestly calculated going king d8. And I was like, this is psychotic. The knight's hanging, the bishop is hanging, but he can like probably castle, and like I'm like, what am I doing? Like, why is my king in the center? Why are my pieces not developed? Like, this is just so stupid. Like, and my rook's hanging too. And I'm like, and my queen is like almost trapped, but not really. Like, I was like, what is happening? I'm so confused. So I was like, okay, that looks kind of not good. And then the easiest solution, my first instinct in this position, was go bishop b4 check, and then bring my other knight out, completing my development, and then castling. So that's like my first. I was like, okay, I should do that. That's kind of the first thing I came up with, and I determined, okay, well, bishop b4 check. Firstly, this one idea that kept coming up in the game is that he cannot block with his f knight. He cannot block with his f knight because the queen d1 check, and his king is absolutely boxed in here, and he has to give up his queen and get checkmated. If he blocks with this knight, I'm like, great, because queen takes a1, king e2, queen takes h1, and I was like, wait a sec, I take literally both of his rooks, but he takes my knight on c6, and after I take back, he could take again, and I'm like, is this winning for me? And I was like, yes, yes it is, except no, it's not. Like I don't. This is way too messy. This is absolutely way too messy here. I do not want to go into this. So despite the fact that, like, if he did block with a knight, and I could take both of his rooks, it was very, very scary. I don't think I would have actually done that. But if I don't do that, well, what else do I do? I could play knight g e7. And actually, also, side note, I was actually thinking about that earlier in the position too. Like, even in this position, I was thinking about bishop b5. If I make a move like knight e7, I just thought that maybe he can just castle. And then if I take the rook, once again, my queen gets trapped. And once again, this is probably okay for black. Although I hate it. This looks so bad. Like, all of my pieces are stuck here. It's not good, but maybe it's okay. So that's the kind of one thing I was worried about. Like, if I know I'm up a pawn, but there are some variations. So, like, if he plays like knight d2, for example, knight bd2, I was like, okay, maybe I just defend my knight. If I defend my knight, that's good. I wanted to, like, take here, because now if he has to take back with his pawn, and he has double the pawns because this knight is pinned. Okay, I got a nosebleed. So after bishop e4 check, I was expecting knight bd2, because it leads to something very complicated. But I realized, so the reason why I ended up playing bishop b4 check and felt confident enough to continue was because I saw that I had the option of queen takes a1 check. After king e2, I'm not going to take the second rook. I'm just going to go queen c3, defending my knight, and I'm simply up a rook. This is why I felt comfortable enough to play. And this is the type of variation that you have to calculate in advance. Like I'm not going to play bishop b4 check until I see the very end and I know that I'm winning. And that's what I saw. After bishop check, knight d2, takes, queen e2, or king e2, and queen c3. So here I was very, very confident that I was completely winning here. And I also was like, okay, well, queen c3 is my safe move, but if I want to get really ambitious, I can just take the rook, the second rook, and go from there. For example, takes, bishop takes, king e7, and I was like, this could still be winning, but I'll calculate this variation if he plays knight d2. But that's the thing, he doesn't do that. He plays king f1, and I was like, whew, okay, no more calculation required. I'm just straight up winning. I developed my other knight. And he's still like, I am going to castle and get all of my pieces into the game. Meanwhile, this rook is stuck in the corner. This rook is stuck in the corner. This knight can't move, or else I'm going to take this rook with check and then take his other rook. So all of my problems are solved. I have no issues. My position is solid. His position is all over the place. He is going to lose this game. He plays bishop g5. I just castle, and now he plays knight d2, blundering checkmate into, and the game is over. I don't really blame him for blundering the checkmate into, because it's so hard to make a move. Like, what do you even do? Like, you can't do anything. You really can't. There's like nothing to do. If you move this knight out to d2, once again, checkmate in 2. If you go, I don't know, h3, for example, well, I'm just going to take your knight, and then probably take on d4, attacking your bishop, attacking f3, and you still can't move any of your pieces. And if you ever do take this knight on e7, I don't really care. I can probably just take, and I'm still winning no matter what. And this rook is still hanging, which is kind of crazy. Like, this rook is still hanging after all this time. And yeah, so that's basically it. So that's how I won my first ever game in Europe. And it was really, really fun. Just being in this completely different setting. The tournament directors are are giving the announcements for the first round. I have no freaking clue what he's saying. I'm so confused. And they have these special chess clocks that like they start the game remotely, and like these weird different DGT boards I've never seen before, like these chess evolution clocks. Like I've never seen, like, this technology is wild. I've never seen anything like it. It's weird. Anyways, I'm gonna go finish my bakery item and my Swiss chocolate, and I will see you guys in the next one.